The hot button topic going on right now in the carnivore space is carbs and whether or not to add them. They love it when we mess up, especially love to see us struggle.
I think that there is a major fear and anxiety, and I can definitely put that on myself when it comes to carbs.
And if I'm being honest, I'm off the rails.
I gained 20 pounds this year. I gained 20 pounds eating fruit and salads.
And like you, Jenny, I'm like up pretty much almost like 20 pounds, and it wasn't eating garbage food.
I have never had success adding carbs in, but that is not the answer for everyone. And
This video is brought to you by Purely Tallow Skincare. And with skincare, the rule is simple. If you wouldn't eat it, you shouldn't put it on your skin. That's why we make all of our products with 100% grass-fed beef tallow. We also use emu oil and even wild camel hump fat in some of our lotions. Check out our website at purelytallow.com. So we're here to just hang out today. Me, Serena, Courtney Luna, Britt James, and Jenny Mittich. We're all just going to hang out and talk. The hot button topic going on right now in the carnivore space is carbs and whether or not to add them. So we're going to talk about that and then tell you where we all are, how we're doing. Just kind of give an update. I feel like people like to hear where we are and how we're doing. They love it when we mess up. So that's going to be a fun discussion.
Love to see us struggle. They don't feel so alone.
yeah.
That's true. I mean, it doesn't, I feel like it doesn't give people permission to mess up, but makes them feel a little bit better when they do. It's like when you go to a friend's house and it's a total and complete disaster. You go home and you're like, my house isn't so bad.
Yeah.
Looking pretty good.
Yeah. It's nice to know that everyone is struggling.
Right.
We all are in our own ways.
That's exactly right. So we do want to talk about a couple of things before we start, though. Actually, I guess there's 3 things we want to talk about. Who has them? Bring them up.
What's that? Oh my God. Is it my book?
There she is.
Okay. Can I go first as someone who has the book out?
Yes.
Okay, Jenny, overachiever. Like, this is ridiculous. You have like literally this first half is its own entire book. Like, I haven't had a chance to totally flip through all of it because I just got it, but it's like everything you need to know about carnivore. And then there's an entire cookbook in the back. And I think you even have more recipes than mine does, so that's rude.
I have 80. How many do you have?
76.
What? Oh my gosh. I
We'll
can't
round
believe I
up.
beat you.
We'll round up. 80. It's fine.
80.
Let's just call it a tie.
Yeah.
How, and you like, do you have PTSD like I do? Like, you seem still like, oh, this was a great experience.
Feeling.
Well, I mean, I finished writing it in December of last year. So it took 6 months to write. And as you know, Courtney, you have to take all your own photos and all that stuff. That was the hardest part for me, was the photos for the recipes. The first half of the book, that was easier to write. The recipes were harder for me. That was hard. I'm glad it's over. Yes, my husband hated me. It was stressful. And, that was a tough time, too, because I had a family member in the hospital in the summer that I was caretaking. So I was basically writing this book in the hospital, the first parts, and then testing all the recipes and stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think I am a bit of an overachiever.
But it's amazing.
Here's my vision, though. So, like, when Victory Belt came to me, I had just been talking about you, Courtney. So I had just told my husband, because we had gotten off of a chat for promoting your book. Anyways, it was June. So I was like, oh my God, I would never want to write a cookbook. Because Courtney says it's a nightmare. Okay, 2 weeks later, I get an email from Victory Belt saying, hey, well, you want to write a cookbook? And I'm like, oh God, but I had like 6 of their books on my shelf. And then I told them, like, I don't really want to write a cookbook, but I want to write like a complete in-depth guide to the carnivore diet, like the encyclopedia of carnivore with everything that I've learned. Because Baker's book is great, but it's pretty small, and he wrote it years ago. There's so much more it's evolved, there's so much more to talk about. And they were on board.
I opened by chance to 2 things. The first page I opened to was 106, stress management. And I was like, okay, Jenny, I'm listening. And then the next page, I can't find it now, but I just was like flipping through, and it was to constipation. And I was like, all right, my girl has me figured out, Jen.
This is made for you.
I'm glad I had to you right away.
You covered so many things. She literally texted us before we got on this chat, and she was like, has anyone received their book yet? And I had just opened it. I like screamed. It was very dramatic. So I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is the perfect timing. I'm very excited, incredibly impressed, and just so excited for you.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad you guys like it.
Same here. The first page I opened up to was the ice cream. So if that tells you anything.
Those carnivore ice cream sandwiches that are on the next page, I just did a video on that. Those are legit like one of my favorite recipes. And if you do it, for me, I have to do it with raw dairy, but we will eat all of them within a few days. And they taste exactly like real ice cream sandwiches. Like,
So good.
it's a game changer recipe.
Oh, these look good.
Yeah, so that's also, so there's 6 keto cheat meal recipes. So since the beginning of Carnivore, Goran and I have done a keto cheat meal once a month because I like salads. I like asparagus.
You're a
I
girl.
like Brussels sprouts. So these are some of my favorite like go-to keto cheat meal recipes that we do anytime we do the once a month keto cheat meal. So I included some of those too. Goran actually found that recipe, the onion, bacon wrapped onion ring thing. So it has ground beef in it too. They're really, really good. And then you dip them in the ranch recipe and it's like,
I just found that page. That's literally what I turned.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna freak out.
thanks.
So excited.
I'm hungry. This all looks so good. It's beautiful.
Excited for it to come up. It's available for pre-order right now. There is a pre-order bonus for anyone that pre-orders. It's 17 pages of additional goodness, 2 additional recipes that are only in the PDF, not in the book. And that's free for anybody that pre-orders. So, Serena, I'll just send you the links and the info on how people can download that. If you've already pre-ordered, if you pre-ordered months ago, you are eligible for this free PDF too.
Awesome. Very cool.
And then one of the other things we wanted to talk about, Britt, do you want to do it?
I do. And it ties into our carb conversation. So I want to be the first to say that I've recently added in very specific carbs in the form of the Carnivore bar apple pie.
Oh, they actually did a new label.
I am so offended that I got the ones that are written off.
I haven't opened mine yet. I don't know.
Go get it. We need to know what you have. We need to know what
They
kind
would die. They would decide if they know that I got the, but I'm kind of a big deal with carnivore bars. So like, I just wanted to show that. But yes, look at the packaging. It's
a very pretty package.
Yeah.
And there's a rumor. So yeah, I want to talk about this because, and this can kind of tie into our conversation because here's my thing. Carnivore or keto, 8-ish years, carnivore, year and a half-ish, right? Touching sugar, like if there was like a protein powder with like a 1 or 2 carbs, I was like, I don't know. Feels like diabetes. Like, I was like, no, is this a no-go? And I was so particular. And even as recent, I will say, as Meatstock, when we were starved, remember, girls?
Yes.
We were starved. And in that, which Meatstock?
Great plug for Meatstock.
Well, we weren't there yet.
I think that there is a major fear and anxiety, and I can definitely put that on myself when it comes to carbs. And I do know why people stay at 0, right? There's reasons for inflammatory, autoimmune, even food noise. But this is something that I'm able to have and still thrive. And I think the ingredients are incredible. Grass-finished tallow, raw honey, raw apple, organic cinnamon, organic nutmeg, and Redmond's roll salt. And
It's like all real food ingredients.
yes.
Yeah.
And I'm about to travel for a work trip, which I'm like thrilled about.
I don't find that the honey carnivore bar or the apple pie carnivore bar cause me any issues, that I know of. And we talk a lot about that in the carnivore space, about getting triggered, about, it's sending us out on a binge. And I don't know if it's because they're so heavily animal based or they have so much fat in them too. Like, I don't know what it is about the carbs in this that I can do. The same thing with the bear bars. I can have those and I don't have a problem with it. I mean, sometimes I eat 2, at a time or something instead of, the 1 serving of it, but it doesn't cause me to binge or want other things. It's really interesting. So I don't know if it's a mental thing or what, but I can definitely have the carbs in this and not have it cause me a problem.
I posted a video about it today and someone commented on that, asking if it was like triggering for me. And I will say, like, I get the 6-pack of them and it's a little like treat and then I'm done. Like I get the salted and I just stick with that. But I did eat one filming it and my kids like them. So I ate one filming it. And when they asked that, I'm like, oh, like I'm reflecting back on the other day. I'm like, it didn't send me off the rails. Maybe because I'm used to eating their salted bars. So in my mind, it was just another normal carnivore bar. I think if I was like actually like eating a sliced up apple, it might be a little different mentally. But yeah, I mean, eat at your own discretion. It could definitely be triggering for some because it is a little bit sweet, but it's just like a different sweet. I don't know. So
Yeah, I totally agree. Last winter, I did my 14-day carnivore bar experiment, and I still had some of the apple left over. Thank God. I was very excited. And I am happy to report that I did not see a significant blood sugar spike from the 12 grams of carbs in the apple. And I also don't get a spike from the honey salted. I also don't get any kind of carb cravings. So, I mean, for the apple, I get, it's seasonal for now. So I get the 6-pack. I enjoy them. They're delicious, but they don't like send me down a carb spiral. So
obviously the fat and the protein paired with the 12 carbs, we know that helps balance blood sugar. And so I can tell from like a significant blood sugar spike with how I feel and also with craving shortly after and also how tired, I am like from a crash. And so, yeah, it's very smooth. And I don't know, it makes me feel like, I'm a little daring. Like I have a honey in the fall.
And let me add that I had that bar 2 days ago and the rest of the bars are still there. I didn't gorge on, like I didn't eat the rest of the pack of bars, which is something I totally would do. So take that with you will. But
so you're now room that it could become a permanent flavor.
it better.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. The fact that you have a nice package with it printed on there makes me think this is not just a fly by the seat of their pants like launch. So I guess we should all do our codes. Britt, what's your code?
Oh, you guys do your codes. I mean, you've done your code.
And they can just pick which one they want to use. No, Serena, this is your channel. You can use
your code, Serena.
Everybody, please say your code. My code is Serena. Don't make me guess your codes because I'll get it wrong. Just say it.
Mine is Jenny Middich, I think.
Mine is also Serena.
It's all Serena.
Luna. I think Courtney's is Luna.
Luna.
Use Serena's. This is her video.
Oh,
Yeah, do
stop.
Serena.
So I just got back from a 5-day trip with my husband out of town. And if I'm being honest, I'm off the rails. I'm off the rails. Not today. Not today. Today has been good. But I just want to talk about that a little bit because we all have issues with that sometimes. And for me, it's been a hard year and I'm candid about that. I've talked about that multiple times. It's been a hard year. My mom died last December after not speaking for 14 years. And that's been hard on me. So call it an excuse or call it a reason. Sometimes excuses are actually reasons, right? I mean, sometimes people hear like it's an excuse, but it's also the reason for something. And so I hate to put that on that, but at the same time, that's the only thing I can think of that this year has been so different for me than my past carnivore years. And just like always, it started out really simple. This is how it started. Let's go to Whole Foods for lunch. They have that delicious cold and hot bar. I'll get a low oxalate salad. It'll be delicious. Like after we had to get up at 3 a.m. to catch a flight. So I was pretty tired. And this is like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, we need something. I know they're going to have some protein. They're going to have the vegetables. They have the hot bar, the cold bar. They have like the olive bar. And I thought, I'll just have a little bit today. That salad, it's Whole Foods. How bad could it be? It was bad. I mean, I started with just the simple salad. I did put, a few other things, because they have all the different marinated things. They have the artichoke hearts, which I know aren't low oxalate, but I do have a thing with artichoke hearts. And so I had just a few of those like pickled things, that were really good. And I added some things to it. Just like the flavors were so good. They had like this marinated feta dressing or feta cheese that you could sprinkle over the top. And I was like, that's going to be so good. I wanted the flavors, right? And I became like a green-eyed monster. I ended up at the grocery store buying things I haven't bought like since I started carnivore, at least not for me. Like I would buy them for my family, but I ended up buying things that I haven't bought for me in forever. And so this is my confession here. Since Saturday has been hard for me. This is Wednesday, but today I'm back on track. We had to get up at 2 today for a flight. This is almost 6:30 in the evening. I'm pretty wiped out, but just in general, like today I've been able to stay on track. Even with the traveling, we got home, I stayed on track. But it's hard, like it starts. I mean, who else finds that it starts with something really little. And when we say to people about adding carbs and we say it's a slippery slope, that's what we mean, right? Like it started with a salad for me.
Yeah, not a donut, a salad.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's like, a big part of this too is learning your triggers, right? And like what it is that can have that first step, in that direction where you opted for the salad at Whole Foods, where if you were at home and even getting something on the go, you wouldn't have opted for that. You would have opted for, I know you, burger patties or, something like that. Even if it weren't the cleanest option through a fast food, it would be something a little bit more simple, right? And I think for me, Serena, what's really funny is that when I travel, I'm like hyper on track, even if I'm on vacation, like a psycho. Like you cannot break me. Like I will be like so, and I mean, let's be clear. Like, I love a little bit of alcohol. Like I'm one of the carnivores-ish that still drinks. That's
I do from time to time.
Yeah,
I mean,
so that's kind of my treat. And I'm not drinking sugar ever. Like I'm like a club soda and like a clear liquor kind of girl. But, that's maybe a treat for me in fairness when I'm like on vacation. But you know what my trigger is coming home after vacation in the comfort of my own home, like kind of like wanting that vacation from vacation before you're getting back into like real life can kind of be when I want like cheat meals and like all the things where I feel like a lot of people enjoy that while they're on vacation, like visiting places, which is really interesting. So sort of the opposite of you, but I can relate to that with like, it's something about being off schedule,
Yeah, I wish that was my excuse, but it's not, because it's been that kind of a year for me where it's just like, but we have been to this place. We go to Maine a lot on vacation, and we've been there 3-4 times a year the whole time I've been carnivore, and I've always stuck with it until this year. Like super, like you said, like hyper focused. Like I would make videos, like even on vacation. Yes, even on vacation, because I want to enjoy my vacation. But instead, 3 days in, I woke up and I said to my husband, I know what it feels like I don't normally know what it feels like to be a normal 52-year-old, but now I know. Like my hip hurt, my knee hurt. I told you guys that like I was limping the other day a little bit because my knee hurt so bad. I'm like, my gosh, this is what it feels like to be 52. And I wasn't eating like so off the rails that it wasn't normal American. I mean, and it was even less than that. You know what I mean? We're talking about like I'm gluten-free no matter what. So it was like, some gluten-free snacks, pretzel, like things that I don't normally eat, popcorn, but like my knee hurts. I was limping the other day. My hip, I got out of bed. I was like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe I am in pain in places that I've never been in pain in normally, because I started carnivore when I was 48. Like that's a pretty big difference. 48 to 52, you start to get aches and pains you didn't have before. So I didn't know this. And this was the worst for me that it's been all year, where things hurt that don't normally hurt. Even after, I hurt after I work out sometimes and stuff like that, but this was different. This was an inflamed pain. Already a little bit better though today, just from staying on plan today. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing how quick it happens. That happens to me too. I have a hard time with frozen mangoes. So we buy those from Costco. A bag of them, like a 5-pound bag, is $9.99 at Costco. It's ridiculous how cheap it is. And my nanny makes popsicles for the boys out of strawberries and mangoes. So they're whole real food. Awesome. But I got on a kick because I've tried this year all year to reincorporate carbs in some way, because I've heard, it's just so much better for your thyroid. And I have Hashimoto's. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to experiment. I do N of ones. This is what I'm doing. I cannot moderate frozen mangoes. I've tried it so many different ways, and they have to be frozen too. It's weird. I just like this cold, kind of hard. I don't know. It's a texture thing. So I was finding myself eating like 3 bowls, heaping bowls of this before bed. And then my blood sugar goes crazy overnight. And I'm like, what in the hell are you doing? So finally, it's just like, I had to get that out of the house again. That's something I cannot moderate. And I've been back on strict carnivore. This is day 5. And man, I feel so much better. So I think the rest of the year, I'm done with that carb experiment for me. I can still do my once a month salad and asparagus, the keto cheat meal that I've done the whole time. But like trying to do fruit or more carbs in my diet, it just does not work for me. I gained 20 pounds this year. I've lost it again. Right. I gained 20 pounds eating fruit and salads. I was not eating gluten. I was not eating conventional dairy. I was not eating donuts or candy or anything. It was from salads and fruit. So it doesn't work for me at this point in time.
I'm with you on the mango, except for mine is dropped mango. And it's so funny because my mom, she texted me earlier. She's like, I'm at Costco. Do you want me to get dried mango for the kids? I'm like, absolutely not. I'm like, I will eat that whole thing. I think for me, so I'm on track right now. I think for me, and where things got wonky was all the outside noise and all the outside opinions. And then that put doubt in my head, like, oh, should we not be carnivore? Is that a bad thing? So then I'm like, oh, well, maybe I'll have some fruit. Maybe I'll have some this. Maybe I'll have a couple chips, because everyone else is doing it. Everyone's ditching carnivore. Okay, I'm not allowed to say that. It's so triggering to people. Okay, it's like a figure of speech.
Everyone.
Yes. Not everybody is, but it feels like it because there's a lot of, big influencers. I don't know where I was going with that. I guess that they're adding in fruit and carbs and, losing weight and feeling great. So I'm like, I'm going to try that too. And like you, Jenny, I'm like up pretty much almost like 20 pounds. And it wasn't eating garbage food. It was eating stuff that my kids have. Okay. So fruit, we did some rice and the occasional like masa chips, and that's it. Dried mango. And like, that's pretty much it. There was like one time, I had Jeff, like, I'm like, you have to go to Yogurt Land, but that was it. Like, it wasn't like I was out eating garbage. So, but then it's like, okay, well, they're like, well, you did it wrong because if you're having carbs, it needs to be like super low fat. And I get that. So maybe that's where I went wrong. But eating super low fat sucks. I'm sorry. Like, I'm trying to lower my fat right now, and there's nothing worse than a bowl of ground chicken, So it's like, maybe I don't want the carbs. I'd rather have fat and eat that way than be really low fat with fruit.
I'm sorry, but I did low fat and fruits and vegetables and low fats before I went carnivore, and I only lost like 20 pounds in a year, and I had 70 pounds to get back to my baseline, which was already overweight. Mm-hmm. So that does not work for me. I don't know why I would think it would work now.
When I see some of the videos and some of the pictures of the meals some people are eating, it reminds me of my diet foods from before when I would do like 75% of my plate would be low carb, fruits and vegetables. Actually, I didn't even do very much fruit. It was almost exclusively vegetables. I didn't do fruit because of the sugar. I knew that much. But I would eat lots of squash and zucchini and things like that. I would fill up my plate, and then a quarter of my plate would be like a lean chicken breast or ground turkey or something like that. That's what some people are eating and saying that that's what has made the difference for them. And I do want to be honest. Like, I was eating some junk. I mean, I know you're talking about, that when you were doing it, you weren't like eating junk. And for me, it starts with no junk. It starts with, I'm going to have some cantaloupe today, or I'm going to have a salad today. But it always ended with some chips or something. And I know the people that are saying that this is working for them, they are not doing that. I believe that they're not. I believe they are able to have, the cantaloupe and, whatever else that they're having that's giving them those carbs as much as 200 a day. And they are not going off the rails and going off plan and eating the chips or the sourdough like I did. I mean, that's probably my biggest downfall since spraying is some sourdough bread, thinking it's healthy because, I haven't had wheat in 11 or 12 years, but I can eat the sourdough. So that was my green light. I'm going to be carnivore. I'm going to add a little bit of sourdough. And so anytime I tried to add carbs in, it was like, oh, well, if I'm having carbs anyway, I can have sourdough. And that's not how that whole thing works. And I get that. I didn't do it right. I know that. But I have done it the way some people are adding their carbs in. And it doesn't work for me. It makes me bloated. It makes me crave things. And God bless them that they can do that.
I wish I could.
I would love to be in that position at some point. I don't know that I ever will be, but the main things, like Courtney said, it's the noise for me, that's all in my head now. And all of the sugar is still stuck in my brain. All of the carbs that I've eaten are still stuck in my brain, yelling at me every day that it's okay because so-and-so is doing it. And so-and-so is saying this is bad. And what I need right now is strict carnivore, I think.
Yeah. I have a couple thoughts on this that I've been thinking about and bouncing off between you guys too. Okay. So first of all, my history with weight loss, as you guys know, I've lost and gained 75 plus pounds 3 different times. Now we're on 4. I'm just kidding. It's not that much. And so I was predominantly low carb, but in high school, when I lost 50 to 60 pounds, that was from low fat and counting calories. And so my point in saying that, I've never had issues with actually losing weight when I can stick to something, no matter what the diet is. That's why we have spokespeople for Weight Watchers, for Jenny Craig, for you name it. It's not, one way is not going to work for every single person. And I think what's really important to note about that is I lost the weight, which was really exciting. But then the second I wanted my life back of going out to eat and vacationing and doing those things, it is very difficult to eat out low fat, as we all know. Everything's drowning, whether you're picky about seed oils or not, which is, you know, a benefit to be, but everything has fat and oils and butters added. But one thing that did not change for me much was my PCOS. And still relying, sadly, at that time on birth control and so forth. All of that reversed with a very low carb diet. So I know that for myself, that was really important. The other thing about it, in my thought is why are we being so dogmatic about the opposite? I've always thought this even for carnivore for myself, because I was a strict carnivore for like maybe 2 months and it was awesome. It was a great experience, but I haven't had the need to stay that way. You guys know, like I'm very much ketovore. I'm a meat heavy diet, eggs and meat. I have a little bit of dairy, but I have a little bit of salad. I have a little bit of homemade coleslaw. I do a little bit of veg on the side or things like fermented foods. And what I've learned is a little goes a long way. I don't need a ton of that in order to balance out for me personally. I think like gut health and just overall the way that I feel, having a tiny bit of variety in my diet, having like a tablespoon of kimchi is very satisfying and really, I think, supports a lot of other things that I was having trouble with histamine and detoxification and those types of things. So, and again, I can't speak for everyone, but I don't know why we're going from like strict low to zero carb for everyone, which has never been the answer. I credit Dr. Ken Berry for the way that he eats, yes, but he's always said low carb is about 100 grams of carbs or less. Even 150 or less is technically considered low carb for a diet. But to like go from like one end of the spectrum to the opposite, that now we all need to add mass amounts of carbs in.
Right.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Is that making sense?
I mean, is that what people are saying? Because I honestly don't watch a ton of content. Like, is that what these people that are reintroducing carbs, are they adding a ton?
Some of them out.
Yeah.
And one thing I will say about it too, is that wrong? Clearly not. It's working for them.
Oh, if it's working for them.
Yeah. And something that I'm noticing though, is it's people that are super fit, really active, have been low carb for a very long time. Yeah. I really think, I mean, I don't think she would mind, but like Dr. Lisa, I think has been a really great example of transparency with this, you know, that she was carnivore for how long, had major benefits, and then those benefits stopped and that started going. So like, that's why I never say never. Like I would love the idea of incorporating carbohydrates in. I know right now, I'm like you, Courtney, I've been back on track for several months. I'm feeling so much better. I talked with Jenny about this too, playing around a lot with my fat and bringing that down. But, you know, it's not low fat. I'm moderating it in order to hit goals and to feel good, you know? So I just think it's like, it's never been a one size fits all. And it's really about identifying where you feel good, what your sweet spot is. No pun intended.
Yeah. So like with Lisa, for instance, I think it was 14 years she was carnivore. Is that right? Anybody? I think it was 14 years.
I thought
15 or 16, maybe.
Yeah. And so she was carnivore for a really long time and then started experimenting and has had good results with that. I've seen her before and after. You guys have seen that, like the before being like recently in the last, several months or like since Meatstock, which I thought she looked amazing at Meatstock, but she looks even better now. And that's when a lot of us started kind of experimenting with the sugar diet, and all of that. And those things didn't work for me either. And the fact that Lisa has been able to be her own N=1, I think that's great for her, that she has figured it out. And I've seen some of her meals, and while they look good, it feels like diet food to me. And so I just don't know that I could do it. I feel like I would feel deprived, whereas on normal carnivore, when I'm eating Courtney's carnivore crust pizza or I'm eating carnivore ice cream, when I'm eating those things and just allowing myself to do regular carnivore, I don't feel deprived at all, ever.
if I'm sticking with it. You know what I mean? And it's like, Britt has this thing called the 3-day rule, which I also think you should trademark. This 3-day rule where if you can stick with it for 3 days, that kind of sets you off like a springboard to success for a while. And I do find that that's true. When I can get through those first 3 days, I do so much better. And I have to do like one meal at a time. I have to get through breakfast, and then I have to get through lunch, and then I have to get through dinner for all 3 days, just thinking about getting through this meal. If I can get through this meal, it is like being a drug addict or alcoholic. It's one day at a time, one meal at a time. That's what it's like. And if I can get through those 3 days, it becomes a lot easier. So I completely agree with that 3-day rule. Nobody else can steal that. That's totally Britt.
Well, I think part of it is you also, to stay on track, you need to know and feel confident what your on track is. So if there's all this noise about, oh, we shouldn't be carnivore, it's tanking our hormones and ruining our thyroid, well, that's going to make you not be 100% confident on sticking to it. So that's what I find interesting is we can all be looking at this data, and there's people that used to be carnivore and they're like, don't do carnivore, it's doing all that. And then you have people in the carnivore space and doctors and stuff where they're like, no, that's actually not true, and it's not doing that. So it's just, that's where it comes to be confusing, because there's just different opinions and we're all looking at the same data. So it's like,
well, there's always going to be different opinions on stuff, unfortunately. I like your point. Eat how you feel best. I feel best on strict carnivore. Probably like 65% fat, 35% protein, maybe 60-40 is probably the lowest fat I'll go. I feel great. No pain, no anxiety, no depression, no stomach issues, and I am able to consistently lose weight. It's slow because of the Hashimoto's, but I can lose weight that way. And I still have like 20 pounds to lose. So
I'm curious then, because you do these experiments and you dig more into the science. Like, I can't tell you the science about all this. I hear it and I understand, but I can't regurgitate it. So I would assume that you would disagree that carnivore causes all these issues then.
Like thyroid stuff? I
completely
disagree with that. I do think there might be an instance of insulin suppression. Dr. Siwas talks about that. I've seen him present on that topic 2 times at the Symposium for Metabolic Health. It's interesting, but that's only in specific client populations. It's not everybody. And at that point, you don't have to add a ton of carbs. You add some fruit or some vegetables a couple times a week. And that's it. That's just when your insulin gets so suppressed that you are no longer metabolically flexible, where you can go back and forth easily from glucose to fat. Mm-hmm. So then when you have a little bit of glucose, it goes, your glucose spikes crazy. Mm-hmm. You want to be able to go between different fuels. So, but that's a quick fix. And that doesn't happen to everybody. It happens to certain people. So no, I don't think carnivore causes thyroid issues. I think thyroid issues are environmentally related, stress, just the chemical soup we all live in. And I actually had an interesting thought about that the other day, because when I went to carnivore, I went from very high oxalate to nothing. And I had horrible oxalate dumping and keto flu for 6 weeks. I was so sick. And then at month 4 is when my Hashimoto's popped up. So I was thinking that perhaps the oxalate dumping that I did so extremely fast did some damage somewhere in my gut or something like that and triggered an autoimmune reaction. I cannot prove that. I'm still looking into it. But it was a thought I had the other day. Is that carnivore's fault? No. But I have never had success adding carbs in. It does not improve my numbers, and I get blood work every 3 months for my thyroid.
Yeah, and what I realized the other day when I was talking to my husband about it while we were gone, I was like, the problem is if I let any carbs in at all, I let any carbs in. You know, it's like if I allow any, then it's a free-for-all.
Yeah. If you can't moderate the carbs, you can't have them.
Yeah.
That's with the mango. I can literally not have it in the house.
And they don't even make me feel good. Like I could understand if I had the muscle mass that I had in 2023, that like maybe I could have played around with some carbohydrates. I had a personal trainer that was pretty adamant about me trying to, but I would always push back on him and say, okay, other women in their 30s that are 5'8" and have, this like muscle mass, am I not performing like they are? He'd be like, you're outperforming them. And I was eating carnivore. I was eating meat heavy. And I think to your point, Jenny, when it comes to the environmental stuff, I think until you've been through something like that, it's hard, because I really, for a long time, I thought that diet could fix everything. And I really thought diet was everything. And I agree with what you're saying too, Courtney. I fell in the trap of adding in carbs for a while. I also fell in the trap of really dogmatic carnivore of high fat, which for me was terrible, and led to weight gain and like clogging my lymph system and all types of problems. And so, yeah, I can see like where the food is the foundation, right? But it's not everything. And when I was having my histamine flare-ups and all those problems, I mean, I played with every aspect of my diet until I had to learn detox and sauna and red light. You know what a huge thing is for thyroid that no one talks about is red light therapy. Huge.
Very true.
Huge.
I actually didn't know that. And
I've
that's
got
good to
2
know.
panels at home and I never get in front of them because I'm always so freaking busy. And I should be doing that every
I
day.
have one too that I never use.
Old red light and give your thyroid all day.
For how
That was
long?
10 minutes.
Depending on, I have like a loom box, wherever it is.
So you got to get really close. You have to like really get your neck up as close as you can.
Can you lay on there? Can I lay it on there or will that burn me?
No,
You have to be careful with the red light setting depending on what box you have. But like I have like the loom box is like near infrared and red light.
Yeah.
So it directly on your skin, do the near infrared, but red light itself, both of the settings, I just sit right in front of it. And it's for one, it relaxes you. If you struggle with anxiety, histamine, red light therapy, I think is the future of medicine. And I'm a doctor, so I can say that.
Well, there's a lot of really good science behind it too. It's not just woo woo. Like there's studies.
Major science behind it.
Yeah. And we should say Britt's not a doctor. She just made into TV.
I'm my own.
The best dressed doctor around.
As you can't find Courtney for the next couple of months, she'll be laying around with her red light box on her neck.
Yes.
Seriously. It's massively therapeutic for your thyroid.
I'll bounce it off. And let me just add though, and you know, people are saying, oh, they had that carnivore gave them thyroid, sex hormone issues, and they added back carbs in and they felt better and things went better. And so that's interesting and great for them. But also I know people that eat not carnivore, that eat high carb, whatever, and have thyroid and sex hormone issues. So it's like,
that's the thing. If it's true, it has to be true in every instance. Most people that have thyroid issues are eating a standard American diet, which is very high carb. So it's not just the carbs alone. And I believe those people that you know, they added the carbs back in and they felt better. That's amazing. Good for them. I'm glad they figured it out. Not a one size fits all. We can't be dogmatic. Totally agree with that. But that is not the answer for everyone. And I feel like some of these people then go on their socials and they're just like, it's the only answer. Everyone has to add carbs. And it's like, Jesus, calm down. It's not the answer for everyone. And I think all of us have tried in different ways and had different results. Because it's going to be different for everyone. So that's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, I agree. And in the beginning for me, like when I would have interviews and stuff, and I would be like, carnivore is the only way. Carnivore is the best. Like I would even think keto was awful. And I do think carnivore is the best. I think carnivore is the best elimination diet. I think 30, 60, 90 days, a year, however long you need. And then if you can add things back in, low oxalate things that don't hurt you, things that, you know, don't upset your stomach, things that don't inflame you, then by all means do that. So now I think that way, but I also think we're all on the same side. So if we can get people to ditch the processed carbs, we can get people off of the grains, we can get people on an anti-inflammatory, low oxalate, meat-based diet, we're all winning, right? And I think if everybody in America did that, I think most of the pharmaceutical companies would go out of business.
Agreed.
Yeah.
100%.
And I think, like, to your point too, Serena, and I can say as someone that's not strict carnivore, right? Like I said, like I'm meat based, you know, and that's not like the animal based with the fruit. I can't do fruit. I can't do the fructose, you know, but like I prioritize meat and then I add things in that are seasonal and that look good at the grocery store. And that's it. And sometimes it's nothing like avocado or whatever. But the point is too, I use carnivore still as a tool. If I have a wedding, I want to be really slim. Yeah, you better bet your girl is going to be like strict carnivore for 2 weeks. And that does the trick usually. So it's like a fantastic tool to have in your toolbox, even if it's not the way you need to live for health reasons or so forth. You know, I do pretty well ketovore. And I'm a little happier. Like I enjoy a little bit of variety. But if I'm sitting on inflammation, if I have high stress, like I have different reasons as to why, or maybe even in the winter, right? Like produce is out of season. Doesn't make sense to buy blueberries in December. So it's like, those are the times where I do believe in the seasonal eating is appropriate, and figuring out like what your body can tolerate, in terms of carbs and so forth.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things I love about the carnivore diet as an elimination diet. And I think I've talked about this with all of you at some point, but I had cut out caffeine. I cut out coffee for a long time. And when I added decaf back in, it made my thumb hurt. Like right in here, it made my joint hurt. So I would get to wake up every day and decide, do I want my thumb to hurt or not? And some days I would have the decaf and sometimes I wouldn't. And now that doesn't happen anymore. So am I just inflamed enough that it doesn't bother me anymore? Or does it really not bother me anymore because I'm not inflamed, hardly at all normally? So I drink the decaf sometimes and sometimes I don't. But that's interesting that every time I would like experiment with it. I would not have it for a week and my thumb wouldn't hurt. And then I would have it and then my thumb would hurt. And so I tried that multiple times, multiple different ways. Like, does this actually, because that just seemed so silly to me. Does decaf make my thumb hurt? But it did. It absolutely did.
That's so interesting.
See, I feel like sometimes people don't understand what inflammation is or feels like. I feel like that would be an interesting, like, so you have your thumb. Is there anything else? Like, I feel like we should all say, like, what does inflammation mean to you?
Well, now it's my fifth. So.
Yeah. Where do you feel inflammation?
If I do dairy, conventional dairy, the next morning this eye gets puffy. My fingers hurts when I go like this first thing in the morning, like they're really tight. They don't hurt, but they're just weird. It's weirdly tight. And I have general malaise. If I do gluten, oh Lord, my left knee gets this little tiny ache in it where I cannot strength train. It hurts. To a degree, not and a little bit when I'm walking. And then what's the other thing? I tried to have a summer shandy this summer. That used to be my jam. That was my beer. Okay. And I loved it. I had half of one, instantly got a headache. And the next 2 days, I felt like I was sick, like general malaise and just like out of it, stuffy. It was wild because I've never had a reaction like that. But I think with the Hashimoto's and the leaky gut, I literally cannot touch gluten anymore. So that's how it looks for me.
Yeah. What about you, Courtney?
I don't know if I really have an answer.
Really?
I mean, I don't see anything like physical. I do have an answer.
Yes.
What is it? Being overweight?
You always say your stomach. You always say bloated.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my stomach. Yeah. Yeah.
But I also think it's anxiety for you too.
I was just going to say, like, my mental health, I noticed a big difference when I was having more carbs. I felt I even had some, like, I guess you could even call it like OCD intrusive thoughts, like really horrible ones, like about bad things happening to my kids. And I feel like a lot of moms probably have that anyways, like you're paranoid. But I was like, there was like a rough point where I'm like, I don't even know if we should go on our little trip in January. Like I was so paranoid. So my brain gets inflamed. That's my answer.
That happens to me too.
Yeah.
Anxiety. Yeah.
That's so, mine's definitely intrusive thoughts too. I get very impatient, very like kind of mean. My husband loves to point that out, by the way, but I really do. Like I get from like, yeah, it's like, stop with the carbs. You're being a bee. But yeah, like I noticed that, like I'm very impatient. And then physically, I carry my stress in my legs. I already have like some vascular issues. And so that was a big one for me. The second I was adding in carbs, even when I was active, I was having major swelling in my legs. I also struggle with a little bit of the lipedema. And that is very apparent with clean carbohydrates and fructose specifically too, if I overdo it. So yeah, the swelling. And when it gets bad, even I'm a stacker. You guys know this. And even like if bracelets get tight, then we need to do a little carnivore reset. Things are scary.
Love that.
Yeah. Play with the swelling. It's not good.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Do we think that's good? Or do we keep going?
I think that's good. I do. Wait. We got to talk about Meatstock.
Yeah, no, I know. That's
okay. Cool.
Let's roll into that. So I think that wraps it up. If you guys have comments, issues, inflammation in your brain or elsewhere that you want to talk about, let's move that conversation let's move it into the comments because I think we touched on some things that are going to strike chords with some people, be it good or bad. So we're probably going to get some good comments and some bad comments. But if you guys want to come talk to all of us about this in person, there is an incredible convention coming up that we need you to come to.
You have to be there.
You have to be there.
Meatstock.
So what are the dates on that? It's in May, right?
Yep. The convention itself is May 2nd and 3rd in the beautiful Smoky Mountains of Northeast Tennessee. It's in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, at the convention center, and it's going to be amazing. The headliners for this thing are not us. Apparently, we were the headliners last year. We're not going to be the headliners.
We did not make the cut on the little strip of
Yeah, man.
If y'all didn't make the cut, then I don't think I'm even on the list.
I know. It's like, it gets like the pictures are getting smaller and smaller and the list is getting bigger and people start dropping off. Their pictures start dropping off of this thing because it's so huge. So help me remember, guys. Dr. Berg, Michaela Peterson is on the list. Who else? Dr. Chafee,
Barry.
Baker. Means is in
Callie
Means.
Yeah.
Food Babe. Bonnie Hari.
Yeah. So many people. Sally Norton is going to be there. Lisa Wiedemann's going to be there. Kelly Hogan. So many people.
Baker.
Kilts. Yeah, Bakeman.
everybody.
Yeah,
Everyone's going to be
Alex
there.
Clark.
Alex Clark is going to be there, which is kind of
Yeah.
funny.
It's going to be an incredible convention. It's not just carnivore. It's, going to be about meat-heavy diets. It's going to be about health in general. There's going to be some biohacking thrown in there. It's an incredible convention. We all have codes for that, too.
Yep. Use yours.
I'm Serena.
Use yours.
No, stop.
This is your video. When you please all codes.
Luna, Britt.
Something like that.
I think mine is just Jenny. I don't know. But you know what I'm excited about is the fact that it's at the Gatlinburg Convention Center. So it's going to be much bigger. I feel like it's kind of be like Hack Your Healthy size-wise.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think something about this, and I'll say this too, I thought this with my weight loss journey. I was never a support group person. I laughed at those. I thought those were embarrassing until I started coaching and I started my own support group because I realized that I needed it. So when I finally joined a support group, I actually found success, lost weight, met friends. So all that to say, I kind of thought the same about like these conventions and stuff that they do. And I love information. Like I'm like a freak about that. Like I know Jen and you are. And so I'm like a podcast nerd. But it was like going to a convention felt like a lot. And Meatstock was like so just inclusive and comfortable and fun. And there's all different tiers of membership or tickets that you can buy just to attend the conference or do VIP and have dinner and meet and greet with the speakers. It was very cool. And Scott's obviously worked really hard on this along with everybody else.
Because it's community. It's so much more than just because, like, I don't go to the conventions to like sit and listen to somebody's talk. Sorry. I mean, I do, but like I'm not there for that because we can go online and get that information. It's about actually being there in person with everybody and meeting the people that you watch online. Like that was cool. I remember the first time I saw like Baker and Barry and Chafee, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I watch them on YouTube,
Yeah.
So that's fun. And then just like making friends, like meeting like-minded people. I feel like a lot of people, they're like, oh, I'm in, whatever town, there's no carnivores here. So it's nice to like just bring that community offline and get to hug people,
Yeah. Yeah. To be able to get together and to talk. And the vendor list is huge too. There are going to be some really big brands there selling their stuff. And so, it's kind of like going to a trade show too. You're going to have all of the newest products, all of the, the big carnivore and low carb and health-based companies are going to be there selling their products, introducing you to their products, letting you demo their stuff. Jenny Minish's cookbooks are probably going to be there. Is that right? Carnivore bar. Yeah.
Everybody will be there.
Purely Tallow.
Everybody will be there.
No, shoot. Where's my Purely Tallow? I forgot all my props. I have all of it in the bathroom. Courtney's book is where I have 2 copies of Courtney's. Yeah, there she is. T-shirt. I'll wear a T-shirt.
I should get a jar. We're editing this anyway.
Do it.
Yes. Okay. The Trinity Bomb. If y'all are sleeping on the Trinity, let me plug it. Because if you're sleeping on the Trinity Bomb, listen, before I buy it out, you better get in there. I will give my opinion on that one.
I need to roll my face tonight in my Epsom salt bath with the Trinity Bomb.
It's little gray bomb. That might be insensitive, but I've been using it on my skin everywhere. It melts. Oh, it's good, girl. She's coming in the bag on my work trip.
Thanks. That was a fun one. My girls helped me with that one. You should have seen our little testers of how much emu oil does that have? How much beeswax does that have? How much tallow? We had like 15 jars lined up, all with different recipes. And that was a fun one because That's the first one that my family has helped with, like actually with the process. So that was the development one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. Okay. I think we hit everybody's stuff. I think we talked about everybody's stuff, right?
Yes.
So, yeah. And that wasn't for us. That was for your benefit, people. Those are all of our favorite things. Jenny's book, the lotion, Carnivore bar, Meatstock. You got to just do it all. And Courtney's book.
Yes.
Courtney's book is amazing.
It's
too.
old news. We're out of yarp, so it's done.
When is the next one, Courtney Luna?
Never. I mean, Jenny, would you do another one?
I would. Because I'm fun for punishment.
Yeah, I mean, I have another book in me. Like, I definitely have all like the ideas and the content. I just don't know if I have like the mental strength to do that.
I believe
Maybe
it,
when the
yeah.
kids get older, because it affected my family because I was insane. So it was a lot. So we'll see. Never say never.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, guys, this was super fun. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
this
having
was
So
us.
awesome.
fun. Love
Do it
you
again
guys.
don't
next
forget.
time on my channel.
Yeah, we're gonna bop around.
Yeah.
Our guest channels.
That's right. We're gonna hit up all of our channels and we're gonna talk about. You guys tell us if there's other stuff you guys want to talk about, other things you want to hear us talk about. Definitely put that down in the comments too. We're all gonna be in the comments answering and stuff.
Yeah, and also in the comments, talk about how Britt needs to start a YouTube channel.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Tell Britt to start a channel. He's on
I
board.
don't want my YouTube channel. It'd be wild. I'll pop in on yours. Maybe one day.
Maybe they will say.
Baby stuff.
Or I keep peer pressuring her into it.
I know we are. We're gonna do it. Some peer pressure is the peer pressure.
Yes.
I think we always fold to peer pressure, so that's good.
Yes. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.